Let's start with the FA Youth Cup and reflections on the first round game against Handball. The score was pretty convincing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we had to be professional. We knew that it was going to be a challenge. We knew it was a big game for both sets of players, really. And for us to go all the way down there and it be rained off and then go back again, we knew it was going to be a tough one for the boys to sort of come back in and be professional. And you get motivated, you're all prepared, and then all of a sudden you've got your shorts and socks on ready to go, and then it's not. So going back down there on the second game, really professional performance, really pleasing in terms of how they conducted what we asked them to do in terms of game plan, how the club asked them to play, how we conducted ourselves on the pitch with the way we played and performed. So really pleasing overall in terms of what we got out of the game, and then really nice to come away with a win, convincing win, and ready for the next round. So really pleasing overall in terms of how the boys conducted themselves.
So what do you know about Dorking?
Dorking, I think it's going to be another big challenge. Played them previously when I was at Maidenhead, so a little bit of background there as well in terms of understanding that they're really pushing, and as an academy set up in the National League, they're really trying to push and get as many boys through as they can into their first team. So it's going to be a challenge for us in terms of what they're going to bring, how they're going to play against us. And they do try to play, so I think it'll be an entertaining game. It's just now whether we can perform on the day, and can we do the bits that the club are asking them to do, and can we have a performance that matches the previous round, which then hopefully will put us in good stead ready for the game.
We talk about this with the gaffer at first team level, but how important is it what they do and what you do in terms of your own identity?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one for under-18s, because sometimes we get a lot of footage and we can see that and we can really prepare them. Other times it's a bit more challenging to get that footage. So I think for us really focusing on what we are going to go after and what gets them into the first team, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do here, is trying to get as many of those 18s into the first team as we can. And we're realistic enough to know that we're not going to get all 16, 17, 18 of them in the first team, but if we can get the odd one or two or three, then we're doing our job, and we're really preparing them for a career in the game. Likelihood is that there's going to be some that will go down and play National League or similar. So it's now about, can we produce that, and can they keep replicating those performances? What the manager's asking us to do, and what the management team here are asking us to do. Can we repeat that game in, game out, and can we keep performing every week, which will then give them a chance to compete at, hopefully League 2, League 1 level over the next 12, 18 months.
I appreciate it's one match at a time, but you already know Southend away for the winners.
Yeah, and I think that'll be another challenge. I think having seen a little bit of Southend already, similar sort of league to Dorking, so it's going to be another test, another challenge, another long away game for the boys to try and face. And I think that's a challenge in itself when you're going that far away and you're trying to compete and trying to play, particularly if it's a night game. It's under the lights and all of that. So it'll be good for the boys. It'll be a good experience. But we have to win on Wednesday to even consider what Southend are going to look like next. So one game at a time. Let's see how we get on tomorrow night, and hopefully we get a performance firstly, and then that performance will lead to a result that means we go through to the next round.
And what's your view on the competition as a whole? Even at youth level, the FA Cup gets the juices flowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. I remember being in the FA Youth Cup at previous clubs and getting through to sort of round 3, round 4, and you're really excited because you're not expected to get that far. So obviously we were part of the Youth Cup run previously, and how exciting that was for the players. And I think that's the most part for us, is can we put them in those situations where they're competing and they're playing against sides that's a different set of challenges, where a Saturday is about performance and a Saturday is around, can we produce what we've asked during the week and your learning process. FA Youth Cup is, no, you're going to win now, and we have to attempt to win as much as we can, and can we prepare you as well as we possibly can to go and win a game of football. And so a slightly different challenge for the boys going into Youth Cup, which is always nice, because that's ultimately what they're going to try and do as a career. Those that are in and around the first team, they're going to have to try and win every week, and it's going to be important for them to win every week. So certainly when you're going for promotion.
You mentioned the pathway and preparations for the first team, so tell me about Harry Gray at the moment.
Yeah, really pleased for Harry. He's been with us a long time, and he's come through and he's been really pushing and challenging and pushing himself, and I think he's the type of character that really has worked hard to get where he is, and there's one or two others in there as well that deserve a mention. But Harry's done really well to be in around the first team, and he's obviously impressing the gaffer, and that's all you can do, is just keep working and showing the gaffer what you're about and what you can do. Keep you learning, keep asking questions, and I think that's something that there's 3 or 4 lads in at the moment that are really asking those questions, and Harry being one of them. So it's now over to him to keep doing that, keep pushing, keep trying to get in and trying to break in and learn from those experienced boys around him that can really push him forwards.
It's not for me to pass judgment. I've not seen enough. I know a lot of people talk about Joseph Awiti and his goals.
Yeah, Joe's, again, another one doing really well. We're trying to work on him going out on loan at the moment. We're just getting the last bits of paperwork. Hopefully that'll be announced this week. He needed that next challenge. He's doing well with under 18s. He's obviously scoring goals. I know there's a couple of national sides that are looking at him as well in terms of that next progression for him. So we need to push him a bit more. He needs to go out on loan. He needs to go and experience men's football. How is he going to hold it up and find those movements in the box to still score when there's someone that's 35 a bit more experienced than you? What are you going to do? How are you going to manage that? So that's the next challenge for him, is how can he then push again, show the management team here that he's capable of playing men's game, League 1, League 2 football in the next 12 months.
And again, following from afar, those youngsters that are out on loan at the moment seem to be either scoring or getting man of the match awards, so it's serving its purpose.
Yeah, and I think that's the pleasing thing. I think we're starting to see the development that's taking place within the building is then going out, and the support of those clubs that are out on loan too are giving us the real big support, and I think that's really important, and it's going to be massively important over the next few seasons to get those boys out to experience those types of games where it's a bit more cut and thrust in terms of you're going to have to win, and giving them those experiences, but actually being able to compete and break into those sides and then have that experience and disappointment of not being selected, keeping the shirt. So what are you going to do to make sure you stay in the team? All those things are really important for them, and they probably don't really experience that until they go out on loan, where we're probably fairer within the building to try and make sure everyone gets equal game time. It's now a chance for them to go and experience that bit of, if you don't perform, you don't play. So it's important.
Just find a quick word on you. Tell us a bit about your football journey.
Yeah, actually started with a foundation here all those years ago when I left school. We won't say how many years.
John's time, was it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we won't say how many years that was. But yeah, all those years ago I left school, came straight into the foundation here. Was football in the community in those days. Joined the FA in 2007 as part of their skills team, so sort of overlooking grassroots football and development of coaches and teachers and players within the game. Went overseas, did a little bit overseas with the Arsenal soccer schools. So did a year in the Middle East and looking after Middle East, North Africa, and working with players over there. And then came back, worked down the road at a team in blue and white. So it was for a season, and then rejoined the FA, and then to Maidenhead, where head of coaching. Looked after their programmes there and looked after their academy a little bit with Alan Devonshaw's obviously leaving this week. So got lots of good learning in terms of what the men's game looks like there, and then back into Swindon and back in with the academy and sort of almost back home, if you like. So 4 years here now. So yeah, varied journey, but up and down as we go.
Alan Devonshire playing for West Ham, FA Cup finals, wasn't it?
Yeah. Didn't talk about it very much. Was very good at chatting and really good person to bounce off of in terms of asking questions and why you're doing certain things. And certainly when it comes to winning games, it was like, no, this is how we win. And he had a certain style and he wanted certain things done. And trying to follow that sometimes was a challenge because it went against some of your beliefs. But actually, no, when you were trying to win games, that's what it was about. So I think it was really key for me in my development and my learning is how do we go about that. From the other side, it's all right when you're on the grass and you're running around, but when you're the other side of the white line, how does that look? So, yeah, some real key learning across the journey.